In my humble opinion, this Catholic YouTuber has saved more souls than all the other Catholic YouTubers combined. Last week, as you know, I put out a video and I critiqued 4 Catholic YouTube channels that are doing more harm than good. That these people should not have Catholic YouTube channels for the various reasons that I gave. Now we're going to go back to a more positive note. And I am happy and pleased to announce that this person, in my humble opinion, is doing more good in the realm of saving souls than just merely getting subscribers, clicks, views, watch hours, all that stuff. Okay. And I am going to promote him and ask you to subscribe to this person's channel because this person deserves it. Now, before I get into who this person is, I want to let you know of a little scenario that will play into why I believe this person is, dare I say, a Catholic YouTuber on his way or her way to sainthood. Okay. So a few weeks ago, I came across this channel, this video, and out of mere curiosity, I clicked on it and watched and listened to it for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And I could not believe my ears and my eyes of what I was observing. These people on this channel were vile, just in the most vile, vicious way, calumniating this YouTuber who I'm talking about and going to reveal in a little bit in a way I've never seen before. So slander, unjust suspicions and speculations, just vitriol, just polemical attacks, falsely accusing this person of stealing other Catholic YouTubers' material and content and titles and thumbnails. And these guys just always had ad hominems on this person without substantiating anything, right? And then I messaged this person and said, did you get a glimpse or happen to catch this video? And this YouTuber I'm going to reveal said, no, I'm not going to watch it. And I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. If you were in this person's shoes and somebody or some people made a video directly about you, directed personally at you, slandering you, calumniating you, having unjust speculations, even insofar as saying you are guilty of stealing other people's material and you're getting money off of it. Not rich, but you're getting money off of it. Could you imagine the temptation of wanting to see what they were saying about you? Could you imagine how much strength and willpower it would take not to watch that? Okay? And I was just blown away. But I will tell you, I had this little temptation, the devil, if you will, came into my mind or my ear and was planting a little bit of doubt, a seed of doubt. Oh, what if this is all true? What if this YouTuber is stealing all these other YouTubers' material and content and titles and all like that? What if? You don't know for sure. I can't look into all this. I don't have the time to substantiate all this. Now, I did not run with that temptation. Okay. I didn't just automatically say, you know what, this is just gospel and this is the truth. No, I did not. However, in the back of my mind there was this just little what if. And then over the course of the following weeks, not only did that doubt get squashed, but in my humble opinion, from what I've observed from this person on YouTube, this person is not only a saint in our midst, but this person is saving souls. And the evidence that I'm going to give to you, because I have evidence, this isn't just some, mere opinion or I'm like partial because I like this person. I barely know the person, okay? And I'm getting there. I'm obviously procrastinating for a reason here, but this person, what makes someone a saint, in my opinion, how can you tell this Catholic or Christian or whatever, Orthodox, Protestant, is doing the will of God and on his or her way to sainthood. It's how they love their enemies, how they deal with revilement against them or persecution or people hating them. How do they respond and react to that? Now, you could ignore it. You could clap back with the same kind of persecution and rhetoric and all that stuff. But then you could have a person, right, that loves his or her enemies, praise and blesses those who persecute you, right? And will actually, out of humility and truth and love, right, want to will the integral good of that enemy or that person that's doing that. And I haven't seen anybody, again, I'm not saying no one else does this, but I haven't seen anyone do it as well as this person. And so that's what makes this person, in my mind, the best YouTuber insofar as saving souls. So not just getting subscribers and all that other stuff. And this person displays a certain virtue that isn't talked about a lot or goes unnoticed. And that virtue is magnanimity. Okay. It's a big word. If you don't know it, it just means greatness of soul, but it's striving for not just holiness, not just sainthood or just doing the will of God, but to the nth degree, to be the greatest saint you could be. Don't set the bar low. You want to be in glory right next to Joseph and Mary. That's what you're aiming for. That's magnanimity, right? I'm not just trying to just slide my way into heaven. Truth is humility, okay? So here's my evidence. Who is this person, right? Who is this guy or gal that is on her way to sainthood and saving souls? Any guesses? All right, I'm gonna continue this tomorrow. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry for all the suspense, but yeah, it's Cameron Riker. Cameron, I have known only through Discord. Okay, we've messaged each other a handful of times, and that's it. That's literally it. You know, we're not like best buds. I've never met him. I've never talked to him on the phone. You know, we've never gone fishing. So this is not partiality, guys. For all the I'm going to substantiate this. I have video. I have some Twitter feeds or posts or whatever you want to call them. So here we go. So this is a video of his. It's entitled "Catholic Apologist Responds to Rude Protestant Comments." But what he does, he sets the preface. He prefaces this and sets the tone with a positive comment. Okay, so I will share this positive comment to substantiate why I think this Catholic YouTuber is doing God's work and no one's on his level when it comes to saving souls and being a righteous and holy Catholic YouTuber.
The haters, and we're going to respond to some actually good questions. And we're going to start with one of those because let's start on a good note. Why not, right? This one says, I am considering RCC because of you, bro. I realized that my problem was not the Catholic Church. It was the Catholic people with zero love preaching. But you preach with love. Thank you. That gives me the strength and the stamina that I need to deal with what's coming next.
So if you notice, obviously he's having an impact on people, and that's not the only one. I have another one, and he's got plenty of those. He's having an impact on his audience, right? Whether they're Protestant, fallen away Catholics, or Orthodox, or whatever, atheists, that people are actually considering the Catholic Church and joining the Catholic Church. I've never had a response, comment, text, whatever you want to call it, like that ever. I mean, yeah, I've only been doing it for 8 months, but that right there makes everything worthwhile. And notice how he doesn't just like in a false humility kind of way, just downplay it, right? He says, thank you. I appreciate that. That will give me the strength and stamina for what's coming up, right? Okay, that's not false humility. Humility is truth, right? And then, but at the same time, he doesn't dwell on it like it's, I'm this amazing evangelizer. Because, like, if I If I got that kind of comment, oh, my spiritual pride would go through the roof. And I thought I was like St. Francis Xavier or something. You know what I mean? But no, he just, yeah, did it very tactfully. Again, remember, magnanimity. It's coming up. So let me share with you this. This is kind of interesting. So this is going to X, Twitter. Gosh, who calls it X? It just doesn't sound right. But uh, so maybe some of you guys have seen this picture floating around. This is like a viral picture floating around. I mean, I don't know, maybe Instagram and the other ones. I'm only on X and YouTube, but definitely on X. And what's just completely baffling to me is how people are reacting to a picture. Okay. Well, let me give you some context in case you guys don't know. So, this is a group of Catholic apologists. And if I if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe they're all Gen Z, so or younger apologists on social media platforms. Okay. And I believe they were at an event together, and so they took a group photo. Apparently, taking a group photo with your colleagues or friends is just downright vile. Like I just don't get it, because you see the comments and it's just horrible. I think it comes from envy, jealousy, or whatever. But so you got Alex from the Voice of Reason here. You got Lila Rose here. You got Iron Inquisitor here. Is that the black Catholic chick or whatever her? Religious hippies here. I don't know the other ones. Those dudes look like twins. I don't know who those guys are. And this guy with the is that no, is it? Is that Kyle? No, I don't know who that is. But right here is Cameron, right? This is Cameron Riker, the Catholic YouTuber you just saw the video of, right? And this person, I don't know who this is, Majorian, posted the picture and said, "This is the kind of stuff keeping young men out of the church, by the way." Like, taking a picture, right? Remember, there's no caption with this picture, there's no context. It's just, we're taking a picture. Unless I'm missing something. Maybe I'm naive. I don't know. And then it got 839 loves right here. Sorry. 839 loves. So here's the context, right? Cameron does a lot of work when it comes to encouraging young men to be good fathers and husbands, right? He also does a lot of work with young men who are struggling with lust and pornography. So this, in a sense, kind of spoke to him, right? Because, I mean, that's, in a sense, what he specializes in. He does a lot of stuff, but, and he's done a lot of good work in that area. So you're Cameron Riker. How are you going to react to that tweet, right? You going to ignore it? Are you just going to clap back and say, you don't even know what you're talking about? Who are you? Like, do you even have a YouTube channel? Do you even, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could come back at a hundred different ways with that. Well, let's see what Cameron says in response to that kind of, gosh, that kid. I mean, Majorin, are you in junior high? Shouldn't you be in school? Anyways, this is Cameron. Okay. He says, "Thank you for this post. I appreciate the honest criticism. I think I speak for everyone in the photo when I say we know we are not doing a perfect job. However, I think we are all sincerely trying to serve Jesus Christ and his church, and we are doing more good than harm. Because there are Catholic YouTube channels out there, like I posted about last week, that are doing more harm than good and are deterring people from wanting to becoming Catholic and are scandalizing people and are offending people. And those people shouldn't be on YouTube, right? But then you got humble yet magnanimous souls, gosh, that's hard, sorry, that respond like this. Now, he goes on to say, Just today, I watched a conversion story of a young man in college who was going to be received into the church this Easter, and he said watching my videos helped him make that decision. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, that sounds a little prideful. Like, no. Truth is humility. Humility is truth. False humility would be like, I'm not going to ever talk about that because, it's just whatever. No, you need to give due where honor is due. Well, where does he give that honor, though? He gives that honor to whom? Glory, all glory to Jesus Christ. And here's another thing. I have had dozens of other young men reach out to me and tell me they quit porn or join the church because of my work. All glory to Jesus Christ. Remember, humility is truth. If that's the truth, you talk about it and give glory to God for it. We boast in Christ, right? Going on, I'm confident that everyone else in this photo has similar stories, probably more than me. I speak for myself when I say that I know I'm a sinful man who tells others to stop sinning. I am aware that I am unworthy to represent the Catholic faith, and I ask for your prayers. I would immediately quit this work. I would immediately quit this work if I did not see the fruits thereof. That right there, I can relate to. Okay, I am nowhere on this dude's level, but if you know my channel, right, I do a lot of reaction videos, I do a lot of live streams, but Cameron doesn't get sucked into all that. In my opinion, he literally puts Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, especially St. Joseph, into his work. He's a prayerful Catholic YouTuber. He discerns what he does, right? And he puts all of his love and effort and time into it for the salvation of souls, for the edification and spiritual uplifting of souls. He's not there just to merely, like I said before, get subscribers, views, watch hours, all that stuff. Yes, that helps. Of course, we want that. Okay, we got to feed the kids, but yeah, I would if I was just scandalizing people like those other 4 Catholic YouTube channels, if I was in that arena, God forbid, I why be in this business? You're going to lose your soul. Well, Cameron's not going to lose his soul. I mean, God willing, hopefully, but he's definitely on his way to keeping it for sure. And then he says, if I've accomplished anything good, God has done it. My mistakes are my own. That, I believe, is St. Augustine. He's paraphrasing St. Augustine right there. Peace, brother. So, those are some examples. Okay, I have a few more. Those are some examples of loving your enemy, praying and blessing those who persecute you, asking that person to pray for you, kill them with kindness, right? Do you think that person, I haven't looked, I should look into the replies rather to Cameron's comment, but do you think that person said, like, oh, you're just a pile of whatever, or you're just, no, actually I'm looking right now. There are no replies from that person. Why? Because when you have genuine love, it softens that person's heart 99% of the time. And that's what Cameron does. He softens people's hearts. And he should be the kind of example that we follow, right? At least, especially if we're in the, Catholic YouTube world or just social media in general. All right, so I'm going to play this next clip from Cameron. I'll give you a little bit of context for this clip. So it's titled, I Need a Miracle, Then This Happened. So he got married to his wife. They are radically devoted to St. Joseph. They went to the stairs of St. Joseph in Santa Fe. I have been there. Okay. And then he transitions into this story of a miracle happening, that St. Joseph intervened because he took this problem to St. Joseph. And St. Joseph solved this problem for him. But I just want you to notice, right? I want you to notice his disposition, his attitude, the way he's talking, the way he's looking, okay? And just notice, right? The sincerity of this guy's faith and love for God, but for Saint Joseph too. Okay? This is just a beautiful testimony.
He gave us everything we needed to put us right here in this home right now. Now, this is where the miracle comes in. Probably about 14 months to a year ago, my wife and I discovered that our house had a really bad leak in it in the roof under our kitchen table. So every time it would rain, we would just put towels down and try to soak up as much of the water as we could. It was in a really awkward spot and it was just super annoying. And it was getting worse and not better. So we called some people and tried to figure out what was causing it and tried to get a quote to see how much it would cost to fix. Well, the problem is the roof that was leaking was under some solar panels. So the roofing guys that came out didn't want to mess with it because they didn't want to damage the solar panels. So we had to call Tesla, the company that owns our solar panels, and see if they would remove the panels. And we had to prove that the solar panels had caused the damage to the roof. Otherwise, they were going to make us pay to remove the panels. Then we had to pay to get the roof fixed. Then we had to pay to put the solar panels back on. And Jessica's dad, who does a lot of electrical work and a lot of carpentry work and things like that, he came out and looked at the roof and couldn't find out what was wrong with it. It was beyond his ability to fix. And so we were out of luck. We were just really in a bad spot because we weren't able to prove that the solar panels had caused the damage and they weren't going to pay for it. So my wife and I were stuck in a position where it's getting to be tens of thousands of dollars to fix this roof. And that's tens of thousands of dollars that we don't have. We just don't have that. We are a young family, a growing family, and we're struggling financially to get by anyway. I had just started this YouTube thing. And if anybody's ever started a business, you know that usually in the beginning, you're not making a ton of money and you're just not rolling it. I really took a leap of faith to be able to start the YouTube channel. And I just hoped that God would provide financially for our family. And He has all the way down the line. But there were several months there where we were, yeah, we weren't sure where the next mortgage payment was going to come from. There's just been some really generous people, and there's been lots of almost miraculous circumstances that have sustained our family and kept us going. But this is the one I really want to focus on because this is incredible. So the point is, our roof is leaking badly, and it's getting worse. And it's going to cost us thousands of dollars that we don't have to fix it. So this is what I did. I went to our icon corner. It's not really a corner, but our wall of icons that we have in our house. And I said this prayer. I said, Saint Joseph, you have given us this house. It's obviously God's will that you wanted us to have this house. I can't afford to fix the roof. I don't have the money. Um, and so I prayed and I asked Saint Joseph, just take care of this, please. Just help us out. And sorry, I didn't expect to tear up here, but and the roof has not leaked since. It has been absolutely solid. Just I don't know, 5 days ago, it rained really, really hard here in Arizona, and not a drop came through that roof. Mm. So, if anybody out there is a struggling young father and husband trying to provide for their family, go to Joseph. Go to Saint Joseph. He has never once let me down. And of all the saints in heaven that I've ever prayed to, Saint Joseph is Johnny on the spot. Saint Joseph is the most prompt of all of the angels and saints in heaven. And he has,
Yeah, I third time I've seen this. So the first time, right, when I came across it, and then the second time as I was preparing for this video. Now this time, and I've teared up every single time. Every single time. The sincerity of his testimony, right? And those tears, I'm telling you, those aren't those aren't like emotional tears. I mean, I don't want to judge or whatever, but you know, in the East, they would say that, the best evidence or manifestation of someone having the Holy Spirit is the gift of tears. And no, I'm not just talking about crying out of happiness or sadness or whatever, but that transcendental, you know, intoxication of the Holy Spirit. But yeah, anyway, so his testimony of St. Joseph is, I can't echo that or try to tell you how true that is. Now, if you aren't devoted to St. Joseph, again, he would back this up. If you aren't devoted to St. Joseph in some way, shape, or form, or if you don't ask for his intercession at least once a day, some way, you need to, right? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. You gotta have a devotion to all three, in my humble opinion. And when he was saying that St. Joseph always comes through, he does. For me personally, when it comes to financial stuff, right? You know, because that's kind of what he's the patron of. I mean, he is the patron of the Universal Church, among other things, but that's where St. Joseph has come through for me, like him. You know, the leak. I haven't had a leak in my roof, but anything financial, just being taken care of financially, because I'm I'm a father. I'm not a young. I'm 42. I think he's in his late 20s. Sorry, Cameron, if I get that wrong. I'm 42, and I've never made over $45,000 in my life, take home or whatever. Never. And now I'm doing the YouTube channel like he is. So I rely on this to support my family. And if you're wondering if you should give a donation, give it to him. Out of love for St. Joseph, give it to Cameron. Because Cameron, we should all emulate him. We should all try to be like him in this Catholic YouTube world. This cesspool of drama and gossip and backbiting and slandering and all this, just this mess that's been going on and keeps going on. Like, I don't understand it. It's like we're in junior high. You take a picture of friends and people just slander you. Like, what? Oh gosh. Anyways, I'm not gonna put a link in the description yet or tag Cameron for obvious reasons. Okay. But please subscribe to his channel. Watch some of his videos. This dude is like blown up in the last, I don't know, 2-3 months. Like, it's insane. And he's gonna continue. You know why? You know why? St. Joseph. I will wager right now. I don't know how much money. I don't have much, but I will bet this microphone right here that Cameron, he's at around 30,000 subscribers. By the end of next year, so the end of 2026, right? A little over a year and a half, he'll be close to 100,000 subscribers. Okay? Just remember that. And I'll still be at like 13. All right. Thanks for watching. Say a prayer for Cameron's family and Cameron. And yeah, Holy Cloak Novena, everybody. Holy Cloak Novena. Pray it. April 1st to May 1st. May 1st is the memorial of St. Joseph the Worker. Pray it. You'll thank me later. Love you guys. Praise be Jesus and Mary.